All right, let's get right into it. We've all been there, right? You're in a meeting, maybe at a party, and you're just sitting quietly while everyone else is talking. And you can almost feel what people are thinking, that you're shy or bored or that you just don't have anything to add. But what if that's all wrong? What if that silence isn't a weakness at all? What if it's actually a sign of some kind of hidden strategic power? I mean, have you ever actually asked yourself that? Felt that pressure like you should be talking more? That your quiet nature is somehow holding you back? If that sounds familiar, you're going to want to listen to this, because today we are going to completely flip that whole idea on its head. And this, right here, this is the heart of the whole misunderstanding. On the left, you've got the labels everyone slaps on you: shy, bored, unconfident. But on the right, that's the hidden truth. What people see as shyness is often you being strategic. What looks like boredom is actually you being incredibly perceptive. And that so-called lack of confidence, well, that can be a sign of a focused, calculated, and frankly dangerous mind.
So let's just tear this myth apart, shall we? We're about to decode the 7 key signs that you're not just a quiet person, you're what's known as a quiet observer. And that silence of yours, it's not a bug, my friend. It's a feature.
This is the fundamental difference, right here. See, in a world where it feels like everyone is fighting for the spotlight, trying to perform, the quiet observer is doing something way more powerful. You're gathering data. You're seeing what's really going on behind the curtain. So how does this actually work in the real world? Well, it all starts with how you perceive everything around you. This is where your advantage really starts to take shape. Okay, so sign number 1 is something psychologists call active observation. Think about it. While everyone else is scrambling, thinking about what clever thing they're going to say next, your mind is totally free. It's free to process all the little details they're completely missing. And what kind of data are we talking about here? It's so much more than just words. You're picking up on the subtle shift in someone's tone of voice, that fleeting little flicker of emotion on their face, the holes in their logic, and maybe most importantly, all the words they are deliberately choosing not to say. And all of that leads to our second sign, a ridiculously high level of interpersonal sensitivity. Because you're soaking up all those micro behaviors, those tiny hesitations, you basically develop a built-in lie detector. You just feel it when something's off. You can sense dishonesty or manipulation way before anyone else does. And it's not just a gut feeling. It's intuition backed by cold, hard data. And that brings us to the third sign of the quiet observer, and this one's a big one. You see the whole system, while everyone else is just focused on a single sentence. Most people hear isolated facts, right? But you see the patterns. You're the one who connects the dots and sees how the way someone treats a waiter is exactly how they're going to treat a business partner down the road. You see the underlying system at play. So how does your brain do that? It's actually a pretty simple process. You hear a fact, but you don't just stop there. Your brain immediately asks, why? Why was that said right now in that way? You're constantly connecting the dots because you're not satisfied with a single data point. You crave the full picture. Okay, so you see the world with this incredible clarity. But what happens when things get messy, when chaos hits? Let's talk about how your mind handles high-stress situations. This is where we find sign number 4, cognitive restraint. It's really just the ability to pause, to think before you react. While everyone else is having a knee-jerk reaction, you're observing. It's a powerful habit that means your moves are always calculated, never desperate. And that keeps you one step ahead, always. And that restraint, that little pause, it naturally builds into our 5th sign. You respond with clarity in a crisis. When things go sideways, most people's brains just get flooded with emotion. They panic. But because of that cognitive restraint, the observer manages to detach just enough to respond with logic, not emotion. This is what that power looks like in real life. While everyone else is swept up in the drama, running around in circles, you're the one who can step back, assess the situation, and find the actual solution. You're the one who finds the exit when the room is on fire. All right, let's get down to the core of it all. We've talked about how you see things, how you process chaos, but where does this power really come from? This takes us to sign number 6, and from a psychological standpoint, this one is just fascinating. See, there's a ton of research that shows when you tell people your goals, your brain gets this little hit of dopamine, a premature sense of accomplishment, and it actually kills your motivation. The quiet observer instinctively gets this.
You move in silence, which keeps your drive and your focus insanely high. The key thing here is that you don't need a round of applause to get things done. And that makes you incredibly unpredictable and formidable to people who are fueled by external validation. Your results just appear seemingly out of nowhere because you were busy working while they were busy talking. And that brings us to the final sign, number 7, and honestly, this is the one that underpins everything else: secure self-esteem. Your confidence doesn't come from likes or compliments. It comes from within, from your own standards, your own values. It means you're emotionally independent. Praise doesn't inflate your ego, and criticism can't crush your spirit. It is the ultimate, most resilient form of confidence. So, you put all 7 of these signs together, and what do you have? You have the observer's advantage, and it is a profound, profound strength in a world that just keeps getting louder and more chaotic.
And let's be crystal clear about this. Being a quiet observer isn't about being antisocial or being shy. It's not a flaw. It's about having a mind that is fundamentally wired for something different, for more depth, for more real connection, and for more truth than most people are even comfortable with.
So if any of this, and I mean any of this, resonated with you, I want you to remember this one thing. Your silence isn't a weakness. It isn't empty space. It's where you process. It's where you strategize. It's where you truly understand the world. It is your greatest advantage. Which really just leaves us with one final and maybe the most important question. Now that you know this, now that you have the psychological blueprint for this incredible strength, how are you going to embrace it? How are you going to use it?